Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the Power Rangers Megaforce 4-inch figures for the Vrak and Loogie. I don't know why I call them the Vrak, just go with it. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get a review of these guys out soon because if you haven't been paying attention, these guys were kind of lost a little bit. The entire Wave 2 of Megaforce, which were these two guys and then Robo Knight, never made it to store shelves or regular store shelves at first, so they were showing up at CVS pharmacies, and Wave 3 was coming out ahead of that at regular stores. But these two have finally started appearing at Targets, and I'm not sure if they're anywhere else right now, but at Targets they're at them. That was a weird sentence, but so they're a lot easier to get a hold of now. So I'm reviewing these two on their own without Robo Knight as a Wave 2 review because I already reviewed Robo Knight in the Wave 3 thing. So anyway, that's like 49 seconds, 50 seconds, 51. It's going too fast for me of just explanation. But so anyway, I finally have the review for these two guys. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and start with the Loogie, I guess, for whatever reason. So if you don't know, Loogies are boogers, and if you like leave them out a long time, they become a monster. No, that was a really lame joke. It was offensive and lame, so double offensive. But so they are the henchmen for this year because we've had really good names for henchmen. We got Moogers and Loogies. I have no idea what they got next for in store for us next. But so they are the henchmen. So yeah. So with them you get obviously the figure itself, and then you get that thing that just fell off his back. You get their little sword weapon here, which also duels as a blaster weapon. They can hold it like this. Nothing too special about it. It's got a little bit of sculpting on it, but it's mainly just silver. It's kind of a shiny-ish silver, though, which is nice that it's not just a generic gray like his weapon. And then on the back there, what you saw was attached to him, you get the little zombats, which are what Vrak sends out to make the monsters big. So that's pretty neat that you get a little version of that. And they're all black with just the eyeball, so it's very show accurate. I mean, if you really ever just wanted these. So that's a neat thing, and as, like I said, you saw, you can place them on his back. But so here's the Loogie figure, you know, following the same 4-inch mold we've got. It's a pretty solid figure. The Loogie is a pretty generic design, not really one of my favorites, but so because its design's pretty generic, it's fairly easy to capture. The colors on him is pretty decent, I guess. It looks very radioactive, at least from the way it's looking here. Not like super green, but I don't know, I'm going on a tangent. But then he just kind of got his weird shaped face, a little bit of designs all over. His little black gloves, but really like nothing too spectacular here. Articulation wise, you've got a nice hinge joint here so you can get some 360 movement and some side to side movement. Got a single elbow joint here. You can swivel his fists here. You've got another hinge joint on his legs so you can get some solid range of movement as well. Single knee joint, no swiveling here. Well, is there swiveling? No, I thought there was, but it moves slightly. Anyhow, there's no waist articulation, as you can see, like there. And then his head can move around 360 creepily, which I guess works for him. And you get very slight up and down movement. So pretty basic. Your standard henchman figure. Like I said, not too fond of the design, but the figure is a very solid representation of it. I know a lot of people have been buying, you know, armies of them to, you know, as they do. People bought a lot of Moogers and stuff. Do the same thing with the Mega Blocks. So yeah, and then there's the peg on the back, and you can stick this back there if you want. And you can be like, oh my god, I'm gonna fly. I don't know what he's thinking. So he's thinking, I'm gonna take a nap. That's probably what he's actually really thinking, because he's really tired. I don't know why. But you're gonna stay. No, stay. He's gonna lie down. He changed his mind. Okay, so then we've got Vrak, one of the main villains here. Some might know him as Braedran or Braedjira. He takes on multiple forms throughout the series, but this is his first form in Megaforce. This is what he mainly uses when he's on the ship. He's used it at least once down on Earth when they forgot what they were doing with him. But so this is his first form when he is with the War Stars. As you can see, he comes with his staff. That's what she said. And it's just generic, kind of a gray weapon, very flimsy. Not really too much to it. It'd be kind of nice if it was shiny silvery like the Loogie's weapon. But overall, detail-wise, this guy actually looks pretty good. I'm actually going to do something a little different. Just zoom in a little bit. He actually looks pretty good. The silver paint on him actually looks really nice. It's not like super shiny or anything, but it's got just enough of a shine to look good. And the blue color on him here too, if you can see, is also a little bit shiny, so it looks pretty nice. The head sculpt looks very nice too, as you can see. It's actually pretty well done. See, they actually capture his face pretty well. You got the tiny little eye details there. It's very well done, actually. You can see kind of the sculpting on his chest, his arms here. They've actually got quite a bit of nice little details there. His hands are kind of permanently in this kind of relaxed position, as opposed to like a generic fist. And then he's got like this cloth material here. Here's his feet. Here's his scarves, which I believe, if I remember, yep, they do pop out. And you can like move them if you want. Maybe he's like in the wind or something. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with that. Now he's like super zoomed in for no reason. But yeah, detail-wise, he actually looks pretty good. He's a pretty solid representation of him, and it's kind of nice to have a figure for him, since you really don't get many of those over in Japan for their figures. You know, there's probably going to be a figure art at some point, because there's going to be a figure art of everything, but whatevs. So articulation-wise, he pretty much shares the same mold, a little bit hindrances because of his design. You still get the same like hinge joint here, the 360 and whatnot, same single joint here. His hands don't swivel, they're permanently molded. His waist does not swivel either. His head does go around 360s, which also works creepily because he's a villain. His chin and whatnot does run into this collar a little bit, so just be careful. Very, very slight up and down movement, almost non-existent. His legs are the exact same joint as the Loogie, but obviously he's got this solid piece here that prevents him from going all the way forward. Single knee joint here. Or did the arm or the leg? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, he's pretty much the same mold. The only difference is being that his hands are permanently molded as opposed to being able to spin. And his legs can't go all the way forward because of this cloth piece. But overall, it's still a very solid looking figure. They did a good job of representing his design. But so yeah, that's really about it. Overall, two very, very neat figures in a way, just because it's always nice to get villain figures and get a little bit of a variety. We got, like, you know, Decker and the Moogers and the Big Bad's name, who I'm forgetting, Xandrid. We got them last year, so that's always nice. But it's just nice to have a little bit of variety in villain figures. So now we have the generic henchman, and we've got Vrak, who's kind of important because he's manipulating everything and whatnot. But yeah, they're very nice figures. If you are a fan of Ghost Ager or Megaforce, or just these villain designs in general, or a completist, or I'm just listing off reasons like what you have to be to buy these. But if you have any kind of interest in buying these, I don't think you'll be that disappointed. I think the 4-inch line of figures are very solid, and these two really aren't an exception. But so yeah, oh yeah, I almost forgot. How could I almost forget? I meant to do this at the beginning. They do come with power cards. Right here, here's Vrak's power card, which is shining against it. You can see him on there. It says Vrak. The back's always the same, just so you know. Oops. And here's the Loogie. And let's just show their sounds in the... Go say more for real quick. Whoops. Spoiler alert. That's for next review. Or the review that already happened. I don't know what timeline this is. Probably the darkest. Okay. So it just makes some generic gyration sounds. I might be wrong, but I think that's just a generic sound from the Japanese Robomorpher, Leon Cellular. I think that might be where that's from. But so yeah, you just get those generic noises. But so anyway, that is about it. Till next time, make sure you check out the crazy podcast at writersrangersrambles.com. Till next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.